This video is going to give you 10 tips on how to survive longer inside Warzone. If you're struggling to win gunfights, or you're in a 1v4 situation near endgame and you have to get your teammates back, then this video is going to help you stay alive longer to get your teammates back and to maybe get the win at the end. If you enjoy weapon stat breakdowns and overall tips and tricks for Warzone, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers, and click that link in the description down below and subscribe to our second channel as well. We do post extra content over there. So in this video, not only are we going to give you tips, we're also going to show you examples of these with my gameplay as well, so you can actually understand how to do these things. So the first clip I'm going to show you, and the first tip, is to use vehicles when you can. If you're down on plates and you're down on any sort of utility, then make sure you use the vehicles that are around you to escape certain situations. For example, you can use Berthas to make sure you have some cover on you, or you can use vehicles in the way I did in this clip right here. So as you can see, this is guy shooting on my right on this rooftop, and he's clearly shooting at someone else. So he was shooting down towards the left hand side, but I had clear shots on this guy, so I did want to kill him. He did jump down for no idea why, but this is too far away for me to kill. Now, just keep in mind here, I actually could have finished that guy with a Milano, and I could just bump up to push him right now, but I actually waited a couple of moments to see if he had any teammates up on this rooftop right here that would come and revive him, because he was clearly shooting a guy off to the left hand side, but no one came to revive him, so I decided to throw the grenade to do some damage just in case. And again, we hit the guy, and I decided to carry on pushing. So we killed this guy, and immediately, as soon as I killed this guy, I wanted to go straight inside. I didn't want to waste any time outside, because this guy is definitely clearly out this window or doorway. So I pick up this Farah, and immediately I want to start plating, and the zone is pushing to my back now. I've just realized that, but I want to get this guy's guns, of course, because he's got loadout weapons. And I spent a little bit too long messing around with these guns, and this guy does some serious damage to me. Now, I do have plates here, but you can use this exact tip if you don't have any plates in this situation. So this guy's clearly holding me from the hill, because I do need to push towards him this way. But I just realized that I do have a vehicle right up here. So I can put plates on, grab this vehicle, and I actually end up holding this guy. So I'm rotating now with the vehicle, and like I said, I take away the high ground from this guy. He actually is in the best spot to kill me, but he's clearly focusing on down the where I was originally, and I don't think he knew exactly where I was, or maybe he was in a gunfight with someone else as well. I'm trying to get up in behind this guy now, if you can see what I'm doing with the play here. And I get out of the vehicle quite early, just to make sure that there's no one just on this hill here. I take this rock as cover, and now I'm just looking out for this guy coming up the hill. And eventually we do see this guy actually crossing now, so you can see him right here. And as you can see, I completely take the high ground completely away from him. So that is a way you could use vehicles to survive longer inside Warzone. So this next tip is all about when you get shot, you need to move instantly into cover. You can't be taking loads of damage. If you've taken one single bullet, that means someone's got an angle on you and you have to move. And I do exactly that in this clip right here. So as you can see, I'm climbing up these ladders, and I see this guy buys a loadout right in front of me. So of course I'm kind of waiting for him to push out and see if he grabs his loadout, of course, which he's going to try and do. I take shots on him and he gets into cover. So he's pretty much used my tip against me, of course. But now I'm just holding this guy, and I'm waiting for him to come out of his cover so I can finish him off. But I actually take damage from the top, up on the top of this hospital rooftop. Now, I should have expected players to be there in the first place. And I knew there was a van or a truck down to the bottom right. I do play in hospital quite a lot, so I knew there was cover right below me. So I just jumped straight down. And now I'm just trying to hide from the angle that he's got on me, because he's still landing shots. And I go prone here so that he doesn't have an angle. And now I'm just plating up quickly, and I decide to get straight under the building. Another quick thing as well is that if he decided to push me at this point here, and decided to glide down off the roof, then after I plated or 1 or 2 plates, I could have cancelled my plates very easily whilst he was jumping down, because he would have had to pull his parachute, of course. And at that point, either I could have ran directly to my right, or I could have started shooting the player that was gliding down. So this next clip actually encompasses a few different tips here. So the first one is that you want to make sure you're taking high ground away from your opponents. And eventually I do get to that point in this clip. Then I also use cover to escape. Now, using cover is the most important thing inside Warzone, and this is how you're going to stay alive so much longer than you usually do. Players don't really know how to use cover properly in this game, and I think that's how they die so quickly, and using cover is the most important thing here. And then lastly, you always want to plan an escape route so that you know where to go if there's too many players on you or you've taken too much damage. So this clip is me, and there's two guys on top of this hospital building, which you will see in just a moment. I don't know why I decide to land here all the time. There's always people sitting on top of this building for some reason. And it is a really tough fight to take, so it's not something I would recommend fighting. But I was climbing up this ladder, I didn't know they were there until I actually spotted this, and luckily I do realise that there's always players on top of this building. And this guy had a really good snipe. He actually headshot sniped me through the glass, and I managed to get my self-res off. And I did have a feeling they were going to start pushing me straight away. So as soon as I got up, I just started moving instantly. I didn't want to stay around too long. I wanted to get straight out of there. And what do you know, the guy started pushing me straight away. I made sure to use the cover to my advantage here. So what I did was I turned around to see if anyone was coming, which he was. And because he was here and I knew he was going to start shooting, I had to stick to this wall that's right here. It's the only piece of cover I have. I could have ran straight out in the open, which his teammates probably could have beamed down at me, so I wanted to stay inside the building. And I just made sure to stick to the right as much as possible. So as you can see here, I'm just using this wall as cover. And then again, as soon as I turn this corner, I'm using the wall as cover again, because I want to stay as close to this wall as possible. There's a lot of cover on this wall here. So again, there's this wall between me and the guy. And then again, I'm sticking as close to this wall as possible. So now if I stick to this wall right here to the right, there's going to be this barrier kind of covering me. So it'll give me an extra split second so that he can't shoot me straight away. So once he's turning the corner like I am, he won't actually be able to see me just like this. And by the time he does see me, I would already have turned the right corner once again. So this is how you need to play the cover. It's going to be really hard for players to hit you if you know how to play cover really well. And as you can see here, I've actually taken the high ground just straight off of him, but he's actually managed to cut back inside knowing exactly what I'm doing here. And I'm down to 1 health, if you can see, just past all this kind of icons and stuff. I've got no health right now, so I need to keep it moving. And again, I've got my escape route to jump over this. Everyone would decide to either stay in this little room, or they'll decide to run straight down the corridor. Either which way, you're going to die. So you have to plan your escape route. I've jumped straight out and went back this way now. And at this moment, I should have started plating, but I forgot to do that. Now, I start plating here instead. I could have took the zip line, but again, I just heard a guy land down on top of this rooftop. So if I took that zip line just there, he could have easily have shot me. And plus that guy's chasing me as well right now. So I just keep it moving. I took the inside zip to make it much safer. And now I'm moving and constantly moving. And what I'm trying to do is get to above these players now. So now I've got the high ground that they had before. And now I'm above them to try and see where they are. So the next clip I have for you is actually using 2 tips once again. So the first is to use equipment to your advantage. If you have any sort of equipment near you, you can always use it to your advantage, regardless of whether you're doing damage to enemies or whether you're just trying to distract them in general. You could always use equipment, so make sure you do use it. It's there to save your life. Also, on top of that, don't always finish enemy players. You don't need to push straight in for a finish all the time. This is a clear clip on how to use both of those tips perfectly. Now, in this gameplay, I'm actually running solo duos, and as you can see here, what I'm looking to do is third party this gunfight, but I can see this guy try to snipe me through the window, so I stop trying to shoot him, of course, because he's got a sniper, but they actually get third partied here, so someone else started shooting them, and I managed to get a down off the back of this, so I can hear the shooting happening now. Then I managed to down this guy straight away. So now I decide to start pushing for the finish. So I actually start pushing for the finish, like I said, not to do. But as soon as I start doing that, I actually spot this guy running in to revive his teammate. So I actually spot him straight away. So I decide not to go that way and, of course, go through this doorway because this is going to be the safer way. So his teammate's pushing in now to revive him. And as you can see, I swing this door open and I purposely push the door open hard to make it sound as if there's more than one player here. And on top of that, I also throw a Molotov. As you can see, there was no one there. There was no one there at all. But I purposely threw the Molotov just to make some noise in that direction. I want them to focus that left-hand side, and is to make sure that they're just know that someone is about and someone could be pushing them. But after I throw the Molotov in that direction, I decide to go up towards the roof and figure out what's going on. Now I hear the res get stuck, and again, I'm jumping down the right-hand side, not the left-hand side, where they expect me to come from. And now I'm pushing through this window, and I hear them resing, and I managed to get the finish on both of them pretty easily. But like I said, I didn't really get any damage done, or I didn't hit anyone with the Molotov. I was just using it for a distraction, and I made sure not to push in straight away to get the finish. So the next tip I have for you is actually live. I'm doing this in Plunder right now. So the next tip is, if someone's chasing you upstairs, for example, make sure to use blind spots in the game. So for example, if someone's chasing you up the stairs, where they're not going to expect you to be is somewhere like here on the steps, for example. If you can go prone just right here. This guy's trying to do it. Also, make sure you practice your jump spots as well. But like I said, you want to make sure that you're right here, for example, because this is going to make sure that if they walk up the stairs, the only place they could check is up here. Usually that's what most people do if they're pretty good at the game. I mean, it's going to be really hard for them to go and look this way and then look that way as well. And before they even check up just right here, you would already have killed them anyway. So that is when you want to make sure you check and you kind of sit on this part of the steps, and that is a really good blind spot to use. There's plenty more in the game, but that is one of the best ones that everyone can use. And the last and final tip I want to give you right here is to do with these things right here, the doors in the game. Now, the doors in the game are so important because, as you can hear, when you go through the door, it makes such a loud noise. And you can also like slow open the door as well, right? But most people, if they're in a squad and they're chasing you, they're just going to blast straight through the door like this. And what that does is it allows you to know when a player's coming. So let's say, for example, someone's shooting me from over here or shooting me from over here, for example, and they're going to start chasing me now. I want to go inside, but you want to make sure you close the door behind you. And that way, once they start pushing, you're going to hear this sound. So once you start hearing that sound, you know how far away roughly they are away from you. So you can hear this guy. So doors are so important, as you can see. And again, I've closed that other door that's behind me as well. Because if this guy's self-resed and he pushes through, or this guy right here. Almost killed him too. But if that guy self-resed and pushed through the door, for example, then I would have known exactly where he was. So there we have it. Those are 10 tips to survive longer inside Warzone. If you enjoyed this video and you learned something new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers. And click that link in the description down below and subscribe to our second channel. And thank you very much for watching.